the reason your MacBook and your phone and the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox, every electronic that has a chip that uses RAM, right? Which is pretty much like any type of, any device that's doing computation has RAM.
Mhm.
They thought we would be there by now, and we're not. And so they're basically like continuing to throw. It feels like the Odyssey, where like the ship's breaking down, and they're like, "No, like keep going." It's like, no, we need to stop at an island and chill, like get our resources and whatnot. But it's crazy because if you ever are looking at anything with any electronic that you're trying to buy, and then you're pissed off at the price, you can thank AI for that. And I love AI.
Yeah.
I had to how to make that golden goose. And so other companies are doing it, and they're making it free. It's open software. So you can go and download this model, and it's basically built and it's learned on, certain processes and procedures and the internet. And you can run some of them, you can run on your phone, on the iPhone chips, because the iPhone chips have that kind of feature. And I just think it's crazy because it reminds me of the dot-com bubble. It reminds me of the housing market, where there's just foreseeable on the horizon pending doom, and then everyone's like, nah, we'll just keep going and throw money at it. So that's always my rant for the AI stuff, because I'm just so deep into that. But I didn't
Well,
know.
what you're saying, no form of AI is profitable? Like not even chat, or I don't understand. Like none of the programs that they've made is making any money. This is great because they cost so much to run. Okay.
Accessing the server, and then you're allowed to, conversate with, chat and use the services of ChatGPT. But they're not profitable. Not only are they not profitable just off of the electricity that they're using, but they're throwing trillions of dollars at building these data centers to allow ChatGPT, Gemini, and X AI, which is Elon Musk's version, to try and give it more power. They think if they build basically enough data centers, that eventually, like, a super intelligence is going to pop out of this thing. And it's a crazy idea, because
Yeah.
you're only going to get out what you put in. And so you're not going to, they think Jarvis is going to come out of this thing. And it's like, you're training it. It's just not going to happen. I personally don't see it, but they're not
No.
profitable, and they're just blowing money. They're blowing through money, like trillions of dollars, and everything that is electronic.
What? So they're making something that's not working. It's not living up to expectations or what we want, and it's destroying all the other industries' prices. And the data centers that they're trying to run is having a ridiculous amount of backlash. It's almost like God is like, no, you're not going to recreate me. Now I'm going to watch you burn through all of your money and resources trying to make this thing that can't even give you the right directions to get through a GTA mission. And, I get really disappointed. I'm on Gemini. It's saying how to do something wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
joking. I just got a bedroom set, like I told you. I gave them the dimensions of the room, and then I gave them a printout of the dimensions of the bed, the side table, the chest, and the dresser in the mirror. And I said, it was cool. I gave it a picture of, because on the receipt, it'll do the picture. I said, this is the dimensions of the room. This is the dimensions of every single piece of furniture going into the room. Give me an aerial view picture of the room with everything so it maximizes space. And it jacked up all the dimensions of the room. It gave me a 12 by 5 by an 8.5 instead of a 12 by 5 by like a 9.5. And I said, this is the best we're getting? I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it doesn't give me confidence because I have to recheck everything. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it's living up to the hype. And like, I didn't know they were burning through that much money. I thought ChatGPT was I thought it was in the green like you wouldn't believe. I had no idea that it was. That's terrible. Those things scare me. They're just burning through. All right. It's like, what is the goal? What's the mission? Where are we trying to hit, guys? Because it's not working. And I don't think when like the internet happened, it was this bad in terms of like cost and everything. I don't remember. You know, we were both like, I don't know, 5 years old, but or 10. But I don't remember. I mean, what's the goal, bro? Like, what is? Because it's not going well. Like, you're spending all this money. The everything is getting backlash, and our product kind of sucks. I mean, I love chat, but like, they're not all optimized. That was Grok, by the way. I told you Gemini has terrible things for the thing. Grok is what I use for that room at Jack Data. Chat's pretty good, but it's so yeah. Well, what do you think? I'm shocked. I mean, out of everything we've been over, this is blowing my mind that they're not profitable. I thought they were blowing through or I thought they were making so much. I have chat up right now. I'm like, hey, why aren't you profitable?
Yeah, why are you making money?
Which one? They put in 10, they got back 5.
So it's costing 10 billion to run, and they've made 5 billion. So that's not including though all of the money that they're putting into the data centers. And that's where it's really expensive. So not only are they at a loss just running it where it is right now, but they're then expanding the business, building more data centers so that they can run more powerful versions of chat and Gemini and all of the AIs, which would then just make it even more unprofitable. It's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. I truly think these guys think the only thing that makes sense is that it is the only thing that would make this make sense is if these guys truly believe that they are on the path to artificial intelligence, like true artificial, like sci-fi movie artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? To where it changes humanity. I hope they believe eventually be recouped, at least by the fact that artificial intelligence would come out of it, and artificial intelligence, AGI, artificial general intelligence, and then ASI, which is a step above that, which is artificial superintelligence. That's when they believe that, all right, so you have basically, it becomes self-aware.
It's already doing that a little bit, isn't it? Or are those just like things we hear about? Because you hear things like that. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen? Because like you said, they're burning through so much bread. They're not getting what they want. They're putting money into it as if, in the hopes that they're going to, well, we don't know what the end goal is, but it seems like they want something that is, I don't think all of these guys are like benevolent. I don't think they're doing it so they can fix the world problems. Either they're doing that for this, but you watch some interviews with these guys and you're like, these are lizards. It's crazy. So they're have you seen like interviews with no, not Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah. Little different, right? We'll just leave it at that. And so are they doing it for like benevolent reasons so that this thing figures out all the problems of the world? I don't think so. I mean, we've seen enough history. They might be doing it for, more control, which would make more sense. But do you think it's going to fail? Because if they're throwing this much money and they're not getting anything, and there's so much backlash over these data centers, it's like you said, hurting prices. I don't know. I'm still shocked that chat is not making any money. I can't believe that. It's such a tool. It's such an amazing tool to have. I can't believe that people, and not just, yeah, it's so limited now too. They're constantly pushing the pro version or the upgrade. Wow. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've heard of
How expensive it is to run AI. It's not
it. Right.
cheap. It's not cheap. And it's kind of sad because it's effing up, at the end of the day, it's effing up the consumer, and there has been nothing beneficial to the consumer up to this point. While that order's in, they then go to Microsoft and go, hey, we now have $100 billion more data center, like
Oh no, I know where this is going.
GPUs. And then our valuation of the company is now $100 billion more. So they go to Microsoft for a loan.
Oh no.
And then Microsoft gives them a loan. And it's basically it's like Venmo when you pass around $20.
Man. This is like Floyd Mayweather when he fights to pay off the taxes from the last fight, and then he spends more so he doesn't have money, so he has to fight again. Not exactly, but it reminds me of that. Well, you know what's crazy is talking to you, listening to tons of podcasts on this. it doesn't seem like it's anything is good. Like I don't see a lot of positive. People are always talking about how it, and it doesn't matter what. Yeah, it'll make life easier in terms of just like what we use it for, everyday stuff. It's gotten so bad with me. I use it to polish emails. It's getting into it's getting into our daily lives, but it doesn't seem like what you're saying with this and the fact that it's. I don't know what is going on with it, because it's like in any other department, any other field that they were doing business, if this kind of reckless behavior was going on, everybody would be like, "What are you doing? The business isn't working." And I guess it's because it's such a novelty and something new, they're willing to sacrifice this much, risk this much. I truly don't understand what the end goal is.
Obviously, the economy. It would affect it would affect Microsoft. It would affect Google. It would affect Nvidia, because they're the
Yeah.
ones making the chips. Obviously, it would affect Anthropic, which is Claude. So, and obviously the investors, because the investors truly think, all right. So SpaceX. If you look at the way that they filed with the government for SpaceX, when they were going to be, when the IPO came out, space travel and rockets and all of that makes up 9% of the company. The rest of the company is AI.
Oh, gosh. Wow. This is for real. It's false advertising. And is this at least money AI that is trying to support space travel? Or is
No,
this just one of,
no,
is this,
no,
okay, so is this
no.
Grok
They're not core.
or something?
No, because no, because that's exactly it. SpaceX took three things. They took three. So Elon Musk was very smart with the way that he did this, because he's a businessman and he's really good at this. He took three different companies. He took SpaceX, which was the rockets and all that stuff. He took Grok, which is XAI, and then he took.
Oh, I know what you mean. Starlink. Okay. Interesting. Oh my gosh. Is SpaceX at least profitable? Because it's 90% AI.
Yeah. So
What a mess,
that's
bro.
what my news feed and Twitter is, just a bunch of AIs.
Well,
So.
there wasn't, I look, before the show today, I looked up and there was like a couple updates with this, couple like new things with Iran. There wasn't anything that's why I didn't write anything down news wise. So this is good, because I'd rather talk about this than a lot of the other things that are in the news, honestly. But I didn't realize that they were in the red. Now, when you said they're spending 5 billion and it costs 10 billion, are we talking about just chat? Are we talking about, what was that number from? Is that all of it? Okay, okay. They probably need, if it's 10 billion just to run, there's always advertising and all that other stuff. Not sure how much advertising they do, but it's always good to, whatever your costs are, to have it 3x, not double X. Movies are like that. They usually will need 2 to 3x whatever the budget was, because let's say something cost 200 million and you made it's the movie cost budget, and then you have all the advertising, and that's like double what the thing is. That's what it reminded me of with how AI is. There's probably so many costs that we don't even know of, besides just running. What I can tell you with those numbers is, it sounds like it's a knife fight. That's what I can tell you. It's getting a little rough out there.